Alright guys, Dustin here. Now, we all like dry fire training, right? It's a good way to learn your trigger control, to practice your sight alignment, your presentation, all those good things. But there's a few problems with it. One is what I just did. You have to charge the sight every time you go out and take a shot. So we're going to do that real quick and click. Yep, and then we're going to move and change and get back on target. Okay, so that can be a problem with newbies. Now, I've never had a problem where I was like live fire training and like, oh, charge, no. But newbies, I've taken them to the range, you know, do a little dry fire, then we go live. Put the real magazine in, and they go bang, and they try to charge it. That's a bad thing. Two, it doesn't give you any recoil control. So you have none of that, which can be a good thing, though. I say it's a good thing because psychologically, if you are used to an explosion in your hand every time you press the trigger, well, that's going to lead to poor habits, and that's why we get a low left jerk. Anyway, there is something we can do about it all, and this is the Coolfire trainer system. It is a replacement barrel that will convert your real firearm into a CO2 powered, let me just show you. Watch now. Oh yeah! We have complete feedback from our firearm and recoil. Recoil so much that I might argue feels more than just a regular 9mm. So here we go. I'm gonna loosely hold it so you can see how much it actually jumps, and it's a pretty good bit. Now it's not so much that I can't. Okay, hold my thumb down. But did you notice even when I did, the trigger still it cycled because it held enough to do so. So pretty neat because it takes care of all the bad things of dry fire that dry fire is lacking. But it also makes it really safe because now, even if we were stupid and didn't put our ammo in a different place, which is rule number one when you dry fire train, so no bad things happen. If I tried to put that in, we're gonna drop the slide on it real quick. Of course, it's not going to go anywhere because there's nowhere for it to go because we've taken our real barrel out. Now, you can also train with your magazines while we're talking about that because it's just a little, I call it a ghost follower, a little rubber there. So then now it doesn't hold back our slide so that we can practice. I did not bring a mag holder today, but we can practice. And then when we need a magazine change, we can do the same thing or we can fake the magazine change. But on this subject of magazine change, what you're going to notice is that this Coolfire barrel, the reservoir holds up for about 15 rounds, which is going to be the natural refill point, which would be your natural, magazine run out point. So let's shoot it a few more times. And there, we went to... Okay, so now we take it and just fill it up. Flip the CO2 upside down. I don't have to flip the gun upside down, but somehow it became a habit. And now we're ready to go again. Now here's something that you can't normally get on dry fire training too, and that is some feedback, because right here we have a laser accessory that will go into the fill port. Yes, you'll have to remove it to fill it again. It's not that big a deal. But now we have a laser feedback, which I really like for point shooting practice. So say you can take it on a job, or say you're just in the bathroom, or just practicing, shooting the light switches in the house. Somehow light switches always, I hone in on them. So you'll have a laser feedback and you can zero it as well. For point shooting, quick draw practice, presentation, all that good stuff, you can actually see where you shot, and that's cool. But if you're like, man, 15 rounds, that sounds annoying to have to fill it up every time. Got you covered. On my Glock 34 here, we have the little rapid fill and extend-a-shot because, now extend-a-shot I believe is their suppressor looking one, but this one, man, it works pretty good because now we don't have to remove our laser and we can feel at the same time and get over 40 shots. So now you're getting really serious and we can do the same thing. Okay, if you noticed, I sure noticed when I pressed out, that's why it's so important to practice with the same gun that you use. Is say, oh, I'm going to get a BB gun or an airsoft gun. Well, your trigger's different. Just from this Glock 34, which is souped up for competition, versus this stock Gen 5 Glock 19, the trigger on this one is a lot lighter. So when I used my same muscle memory to tick off a few trainers, we go back up there, my finger is used to applying the same amount of pressure, and the gun went off a little earlier than I need to. So that is a great case in point why the Coolfire system's so cool, because now we actually have our actual gun. So we have the same everything, sights, feel, holster, magazine, even the weight, because the weight of that barrel is going to be, like the weight of a real barrel. And the swap out is just stupid easy. Coolfire barrel, okay? We can still even leave it charged. I'm going to disconnect the trigger though. And then it's the same way you would clean your firearm. You take out their Coolfire spring and their barrel, and that's all there is to it. Put our real one back in and we're good to go again. But while I have this out, I wanted to show you how it worked. Because if you've ever taken a paintball gun apart, it's around the same technology, where you have this little piston here that when it gets struck, it relieves just a little bit of CO2 energy, and that's what kicks it out, cycles your slide, and you're back in battery again. This is pretty much just a tiny tank. And then the blue striker polymer tip is kind of cool because that makes sure that you're not going to wear your firing pin out and break it on something metal. So these are replaceable, and so you check them out every once in a while, but I've seen them last several hundred clicks because it's not really rounds. And it's threaded, of course, for the end, laser, and all that jazz. So while it should be obvious, the benefits of it, training, and the safety aspect, and I mean, honestly, even if ammo was the same cost, even if ammo was free, I would still recommend Dryfire practice and a product like this, because live ammunition, while it gives you good feedback, sometimes it disguises bad habits. And so you may be doing something that you don't know until you take that explosion out of the equation. But while we're on the cost factor, I mean, you're looking at pennies, because even the expendable, such, like this is the little drink make soda CO2. These are cool because they come shipped if you don't have a CO2 refill station, which then the regular CO2 bottles make sense. But even if, with those calculated in, you're looking at about 2 cents per shot, versus what minimum right now 30 cents per shot for a 9mm, and that's the cheap stuff before you even get it shipped. So if you shoot something like a 45, double that price value. What would be simulated one magazine worth for one cheap 9mm round? And while we're on the subject of cost, it's around 315 bucks. That's what it is for the barrel. But use my code TOP, T-O-P. Okay, it'll take $25 off the price. And they have over 140 models to choose from. I was shocked. But they have CZ, EAA, 2011, 1911, HK, Walther, Taurus. Okay, chances are they've got one for you, so you can go check it out at coolfiretrainer.com. I certainly think it's cool. I sure think it's a neat way to train. You can practice your presentation, everything, like you can with Dryfire, but without having to rack your slide all the time, and with actual recoil feedback, so you don't get lazy and we have a sloppy grip and all that poor habits. So check them out. Thanks for watching today, guys. Tell me what you think in the comments. You fall in love with it too? Okay, I love it. Bye-bye. Did you see that? I came in like a wrecking ball. Oh, perfect! Yeah!